laws and regulation. Many laws, like the sign law that even Bill Watson didn't know, are unknown to people. Do you support getting rid of these excessive laws, or do you think we need more regulation to turn things up? And the person to answer that, you'd start off with Rick.
I think we should look at everything we can, and I'm hoping we have an opportunity in the next 4 years to start looking at simplification of our code. I mean, we have new department heads that are willing to take a look at it, both on the public works side and in Erica Shook, as our new development of community planning. And I do think we have some things. I mean, there's a lot of redundant code that we have. We've started taking away some of it, but not very fast. And part of, again, one of the things before, part of the time was we had to have the right staff in place in order for us to move forward and make change. But we can make change fairly quickly once we get going. And I know Harvey's going to give me a hard time about the speed coming in the east sound, but once we really got to that, it was a relatively quick change to change the speed. And there's so much code that was written in the 90s, and if you take a continuum of codes written here with the intent, but interpretation of intent goes over time, we have to bring that interpretation of intent down to what it was when it was originally done. And I think that's the big problem we have, even in our pharmacy for inventory counts. If we don't maintain our inventory every day, then the reality of what our inventory is not accurate. So, one of the things I want to do is that we need to be cycling through all of our code every day or every month and look for reasons or ways to fix the code that's wrong. And so it's, part of it's like if you see something that's wrong, send it to me and let me know what we can look at changing.
Okay. Well,
when I first got in office, I sat down with Randy Gaylord and went through, there's a lot of ordinances and codes in there that they're outdated and we've outgrown them. The one that I always joke around about going back to is that Friday Harbor finally got it off the books. Was it downtown Friday Harbor, you couldn't have a slingshot. But that was just one of those codes that had been on there forever. But I went back and looked at the ones that we could take a look at. And then basically it came down to how much time and resources did Randy's office have to go back and streamline. The ones that are really obvious we just need to get rid of. But a lot of them we've just outgrown. And technology has beat some of them beat up too.
Well, 4 years ago, we heard the same thing about simplifying the county government, and there seems to have been a lot of talk, but a few things have gotten done, but not everything. And I would rely on the citizens to bring issues to me and to try and deal with them in a prompt manner, rather than continue talking about them for the next 4 years.
Bill?
So I clearly would like to know what someone thinks I sign violation that I made. So if anybody's willing to share, I'd be glad to learn from that, but I'm not aware of it, so I'm a little bit at
The what? The what violation?
I was accused of violating a sign
Yeah,
regulation.
certainly, yeah.
So I'm standing up here saying so.
Cindy, what's the sign law?
I am very involved in that because I put up signs.
Okay.
And so after an election has been made, you have 3 days to get your signs down.
Yep.
72 hours.
Yep.
And your signs are still up for several weeks.
So actually, I called the county.
Okay.
I asked specifically about taking signs down after the primary, but before the general. And the county informed me that they considered primary/general as one election, and you could leave your signs up the entire time. However,
That's needs to be clarified.
I did not do that. 99% of my signs were taken down. So I don't know
Okay.
which sign or signs that were still up for, you say, a couple of weeks, right? Obviously, that's a supporter problem. I take responsibility for that, right? But I can guarantee you, my garage was filled with 99% of the signs. So I apologize if there were signs left up. As far as land use and regulations, back to the
Right,
real
yeah.
question.
Actually, excessive laws.
Excessive laws, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a little surprised to hear that, Rick and Bob stand up and say, well, we need to do this. I'm sorry, aren't you in office and haven't you been there for over 3 years? Okay? I mean, is this not a priority that we need to take care of? Land use regulations, the confusion and the ambiguity is costing us hundreds of thousands of dollars. Both the county in wasted staff time and resources, and citizens who have to litigate, get unclear answers, or two different answers for the same question, depending on who you ask and when you ask it. So now's the time to clean it up. It's a matter of setting priorities, applying resources, and getting the work done. So what are we waiting for? I'm sorry, I don't understand why we need to do that, but yet they were in charge.
Okay. Anybody want to respond to that?
Well, the sign code's 45 days and 72 hours is written in law, so, I mean.
And I asked them that.
Let me ask you this, is there a distinction between private property, signs on private property, and signs on public property? So,
No, it's the same law. I mean,
it's the same law, it
it's in
applies to
code.
both.
45 days prior and you have 72 hours, and Cindy's right, and that's what
Okay.
sign law requires, doesn't matter if primary or general. So you were totally correct.
So I could be in trouble if I built around my chicken coop, I used an extra sign that's not used anymore.
If you tape over it, you're okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Or use it as part of the chicken coop.
Okay, here's